This week on the Business Review, we explore the new landscape for the exchange rate here in Jamaica. It's from last week's presentation by the Department of Economics at the University of the West Indies. Here's TVJ's Dashan Hendricks.
After years of a trend of devaluation, moving the exchange rate to more than 130 to 1 in September last year, the currency started to appreciate, a phenomenon Jamaicans are not familiar with. Questions raised, the Bank of Jamaica responding, the country is in a new exchange rate climate, economists explaining why.
The trend in inflation rates over the last 10 years has been downwards to low single digits. We are now hovering in the ballpark of inflation rates in the United States. And the significance of this is that since it is that inflation differential that has been driving the depreciations were going to stop.
So no more expectation to see the currency falling as it did in recent years. Last year, the dollar gained 2.6%. In the past, it lost a value of up to 5% each year. But with the Bank of Jamaica getting a lid on inflation in the low single digits over the last decade, things are starting to change in the foreign exchange market.
We are indeed at the end of devaluations.
It does not mean the exchange rate will not devalue. Other issues apart from inflation affect the currency.
Now with this up-down movement, of course, there's a lot of uncertainty. And if you're a business person, you are planning over 2 years, over 3 years, over 5 years, you want to be able to protect yourself from this up-down movement. And we think now that the market players have now an incentive to develop tools and mechanisms such as forwards, we call these the derivatives, that will help business persons and even households to protect themselves against unexpected fluctuation.
Chairman of the Wisinko Group, William Afood, says in the past, corporations facing a sliding dollar employed creative means to minimize losses.
So typically, a business like ours, and I'll give you a perfect example. In October of last year, the dollar had hovered around 130 to 131. We moved our prices to 1. We costed at an exchange rate of 134 to 1. And that's very common. The price that consumers paid was above where it should have been, just because of the expected movement in the currency.
But he said in the last few months, change. Businesses starting to trust the Jamaican dollar, some racking up losses as the currency gained value over the last 3 months of 2017.
These companies like ours and other large companies in Jamaica are no longer going to speculate by keeping all of their cash and liquidity in US dollars, because we finally have the confidence in our local currency to hold whatever reserves that we have in local currency.
So does that mean Jamaica is in a new exchange rate dynamic? After years of devaluation, it would appear that way. Skeptics still abound though. Perhaps it's too early to decipher a trend. But for Dr. King?
Now we are actually on the roller coaster. Why is that a good thing? Because when you get on the roller coaster, you know you're going to end up where you started. That is the foreign exchange market we want. It is better than the precipice. After 50 years, I think we've finally gotten it right.
For the Business Review, I am Dashan Hendricks.